Hello everyone, welcome to Cam's Handmade Creations and another tutorial. Today we're going to work on how to make a water bottle holder. So as always, I don't like to dawdle, so let's get started. So I have here some t-shirt yarn that I bought from Amazon. I'm going to link it in the description box below so you know where I got it from and how thick it is. I don't really know the size, but you can get it on Amazon. As I said, I'll link it at the bottom. I have a stitch marker and a 5.5 millimeter hook and my favorite scissors. I love these scissors. They collapse and fold in and they're really good for safety. So anyway, I'm going to remove these things here and let's make our chain. So I'm going to make a magic circle. I told myself that I would continue practicing this magic circle for every video that I made that required making a circle. You can do a simple chain 5 and then slip stitch into your first stitch to make your circle. We're going to make some single crochets. So right now I'm just chaining one here and I'm going to turn it and then go ahead and I'm going to make 10 single crochets inside of my loop. And again, you don't have to do this. You don't have to make a magic circle. You can just chain 5 and slip stitch into the very first stitch and go ahead and make your 10 single crochets in the middle of your in your circle. So I'm going to continue with this and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're at the end and we're going to continue on. I'm not going to slip stitch into my stitches. I'm going to use my stitch marker. I have a really big issue with that line that shows up when you do a slip stitch. So of course, naturally, I'm going to do that in the beginning, but I'm going to realize it and take it out. So I'm going to go ahead and go in and make this crazy slip stitch, which I'm not supposed to do. Then I realized what I did and I took it out. So I'm going to go in and make a single crochet. I'm going to put 2 single crochets in that first stitch and add my stitch marker to the first stitch. And now we're just going to make 2 single crochets in each stitch going all the way around. 2 in each stitch. So when you come back, you should have 20 single crochets and I will see you back at the beginning. Okay, so now we have our second row and we have our 20 double crochets going all the way around. I'm going to remove this stitch marker and continue on. I'm going to make a single crochet in this first stitch here. In a moment, I'm just going to test it out to see what I got going on, but I'm going to put my, I'm going to test the bottom of this water bottle first before we continue. So as you can see, it's not quite covering the bottom. We still have a little bit more to go, so I'm going to make another round. I'm going to go into this first stitch with a single crochet. I've taken out my stitch marker. I'm going to keep going and eventually I'm going to forget to put my stitch marker in there. In this next stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochets and so on. Please remember to put your stitch marker in your first stitch. Once you make that stitch, immediately go ahead and put your stitch marker because you will forget just like I did. I'll eventually remember it. So what I'm doing here is I'm going around with 1 double crochet in 1 stitch and 2 double crochets into the next stitch. I'm just increasing this bottom portion for the water bottle. If you don't want to do this part, you don't have to, but ultimately your bottle will be just a little tight. So as you can see, I realized I didn't put my stitch marker in there, but I know where the beginning of the stitch is. Once you get used to crocheting and doing your stitches, eventually you'll learn and get to see where that first stitch is. So now we're on the next row and I'm not going to increase anymore because it fits the bottom of the bottle, which I'm going to show you in a moment. It fits it just fine. It fits it perfectly. So it sits really nice on the bottom of that water bottle. Sorry, I don't have a lot of room, but as you can see, it fits real nice on the bottom of there. So now we're going to start working our way up the water bottle with some more stitches. Okay, so now we're at the row where we're going to go ahead and start making our way up the sides of the bottle. I've removed my stitch marker and we're going to single crochet in the back loop of each of these stitches. So go ahead and take your stitch, and there's two portions. There's a V stitch, and right in the back, that stitch that's in the back, the loop that's in the back, you're going to put a single crochet. Don't forget to put your stitch marker. As soon as you make that single crochet, put your stitch marker in there. Go into that next back loop and make another single crochet. And continue doing this all the way across until you get to the other side, just in the back loop of your stitches. So this right here is the front of the loop. That's the front, and this is the back. So just put your single crochet in that back loop there. So keep making your single crochets around, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, it's beginning to fold inward and go up along the side of the water bottle. Just keep making your single crochets in the back loop. Keep going all the way around. For every row, you just keep going. Just make sure that you put your stitch marker in that first stitch when you make your first stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and take this stitch marker here because this is our first stitch, and we're going in that section there in the back loop again. That is all we're doing. We're single crocheting into the back loop. Make sure that when you make your single crochet, make sure you put in your stitch marker so you don't get lost. Keep going around. I'm going to keep making my way around with these single crochets in the back loop, and I'll be right back when I get a little closer to the top of the bottom. Just keep making your single crochets in this back loop. When you get to the stitch marker, remove it, add your single crochet, put your stitch marker back. I'll be right back. So I wanted to stop here really quickly so I can show you what this looks like. As you can see, it's starting to go upward. So it's going to make its way up the side of the water bottle. So I'm going to show you what that looks like with it, with the water bottle sitting inside of it. Again, excuse my space. I don't have a lot of space. So here you see it's a little bit wider than the water bottle, but that's okay. We can always take away stitches. So I'm probably going to decrease a stitch by one, and then so it can fit a little more snugly, not too tight, but just enough so that it's not loose around the water bottle. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to take out the stitch marker. We're going to decrease by one. I'm going to go into the back loop of this next stitch and just do a quick slip stitch. And that's going to immediately make the next stitch the first stitch. So now I have my stitch marker back into that new stitch. I'm going to take it out so I can continue going across. When you do that slip stitch, as you're going around, you're not even going to notice it. So I'm going to continue making my single crochets. I'm going to make 2 single crochets and then put my stitch marker back in there. And you can't even tell where we missed that stitch. So now let's try our water bottle again. And it fits more snug than it did before. We just have to keep making our way up. We only have a few rows now, maybe about 4 rows. So that you really can't tell now, but once you start to make your way up the sides, then you'll be able to tell. This is what it looks like on the inside. I still have that last piece of string that I need to weave in, but I'm just going to keep going around with these single crochets in the back loop, and I'll be back when my holder is a bit bigger than this. Okay, so I am back and I am further up in my rows here. I love how this is coming out. It looks really great with the single crochets in the back loop. I'm going to come back a little bit so you can see the whole thing. I have such a small space to work on, but I'm going to do what I need to do. So as you can see, I have all these pretty rows of these single crochets in the back loop. This is the bottom portion. This is the side of the water bottle kind of like the bottom side as you're coming up. So I think I have exactly 16 rows. This is the bottom here, what that looks like on the bottom. That hole does not matter. Your water bottle is not going to slip through that hole. So I'm going to slide the water bottle in here so that you can see what that looks like. And it fits really nice. This doesn't necessarily have to be for a water bottle. You can put your favorite cup in here. If you have a nice tumbler that you want to cover up and keep from getting damaged, you can stick that in there. So we're going to move on to the handle. Okay, so now we're at the portion where we're going to go ahead and make the handle, the strap for your water bottle. This length for this is your preference. You can make it as long as you want to. In the video, I'm only going to do like maybe 60 chains, I think it was. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to single crochet across in the back loop. I think I do like maybe 2 or 3 single crochets because I want to make sure that I'm right in the middle of my project. I'm going to chain 1 and just begin making my chain. You can make this chain as long as you want to. It's completely up to you at this point. I'm going to make this chain and you can leave it at that, or you can do it the way I'm going to do it, which is once I have my chain long enough, I'm going to come back down the chain with some stitches. Okay, so now I found the spot where I want to put my chain, put my strap to the other side. I found that middle section of this water bottle holder. So I'm going to put my stitch in there and put my put my hook in there. Go ahead and pull a loop through and slip stitch and chain 1. So now you just go right into that very first chain with a single crochet, and I'm going to make single crochets all the way across. Again, you don't have to do this. You can just make a chain and leave it at that. Attach it, weave in your yarn, and then go from there. But because I have issues with pain, I like to have my strap to be a little bit wider so that it doesn't hurt me. So I'm going to continue and I'm going to make my way to the other side with these single crochets, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row and I'm going to put these last single crochets in here. Now on this one here, I'm simply just going to go right into that single crochet and I'm going to make a slip stitch and I'm going to pull my yarn through. Okay, so I did 2 slip stitches. I didn't realize I did that. But as you can see, here is your handle. It's a little wider. If you want to go back around again and do another row, you can make it even wider than that if you want to. But I'm going to finish it off here because this is what works for me. You can make your strap much longer if you want to so that it can like cross over your body. But I'm just going to finish this off here. I thought I would have to clip off, but I'm actually at the end of my yarn. I'm at the end of my skein. So I'm going to grab a darning needle really quick and I'm going to show you how I weave in my ends here for this. I like to weave in a certain way. I don't like to zigzag around the project. I like to, for the most part, stay in a straight line. I find that when you do that, you can see a line where you put in. So I'm going right into that first single crochet with my darning needle. I'm wrapping it around and then I'm going to go right back into that space again with my darning needle again. This is going to get it to be nice and secure. And because this yarn is thick, that's going to make it even better. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to go inside around to the other side. See what I'm doing here? I want to make sure that you can see. And I'm just simply going in up under the back of the stitches. I don't like doing a lot of zigzagging. So I'm going to put one here. And then let me fix my needle here. I got to re-thread my needle. So as you can see here, I'm just going to go up underneath the stitches. You can do 2 or 3 at a time. You can do 1 at a time. It's completely up to you. My darning needle is long enough that I can add more, but I just like to do 2 at a time. So just pull that through. And then I'm going to go up a little higher, and I'm going to speed this up here and continue on. And I'll be right back when I'm finished doing this part. Okay, so I'm almost there. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. As you can see, I put it through the loop and I'm making a nice loop so I can get a knot in there, and it does not affect the other side. It still is the same. You don't even see your knot there. So I'm going to push that in real nice. I'm going to go ahead and snip this off. And sometimes when I do bags and stuff like this, I like to put a little bit of glue on there just to secure it into place. So I'm going to grab some of my super glue here. I make resin products as well. As a matter of fact, this week I'm going to be putting up a pair of earrings. I'm going to make a pair of earrings with some resin. So I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue on there, right on top of where I cut and right inside of that knot. That way it can stay shut and we don't have to worry about it slipping out. Okay, so we are all done. Now we just straighten it out a little bit. It's going to twist up a little bit. That's just because of how you have the stitches there, but eventually it will straighten out. I'm going to slip this water bottle in here so we can see what that looks like. I wish I could stand it up for you on camera, but again, I don't have a lot of room, but you will see a picture of it standing up at the end of this video. So I want to thank you for watching this video with me. I hope that you crocheted along with me. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to share some of my videos. I love being able to teach new crocheters and even our longer crocheters some new stitches. So thanks for watching. Have a awesome and wonderful day. Bye-bye.